So doing this is actually like really me cuesta mucho.
Yeah, me too. When I watch
I don't have any other words. Me cuesta mucho.
Yeah, when I watch the video afterwards, after the sessions, I start like, I don't want to watch it because I don't like.
Exactly.
I start correcting
That's
myself,
why.
like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. I should have said it.
I know, exactly. See, you know how I feel. That's why I don't rewatch any of my live stream because
Keisha agrees with us, Tita. She says she agrees.
I also hate my own voice, my own recorded voice. Like it's so pitchy, and I don't know. It sounds worse than I'm hearing it right now. So that's why I don't like hearing anything of me recorded.
Yeah, maybe in the future there will be a sort of like feature on Zoom that you can adjust your voice to make
voice.
it like deep, to make it to fix your voice, not only the camera.
Yeah, I will probably change my voice to, I don't know, Rihanna.
I would like to have a voice like singing voice, Tita, so I can sing during the sessions.
Sing and cook. Oh my God, that you go viral.
Yeah, but the singing part, I don't have it. I've tried it, but I don't really have that part.
Yeah, I'm good just with lip singing. A ver.
So let's just wait a bit extra, Tita, because it's Sunday. It's Sunday, 10 a.m.
Yeah. It's fine. We can just talk among ourselves, talking about I don't know what. Hola, todos. Boleh loh kalau mau ikut ngobrol-ngobrol.
Oh, you're getting some praise from Keisha. It says, Primarita, you look gorgeous.
Thank you. Just gracias. Eres muy amable. I bet you don't know that I haven't showered yet.
No, there was no need to say it, Tita. You already looked gorgeous.
If there's only 14 people, then I can say it. But if there's 100 people, I won't say it.
Que bombón, Primarita.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Iván, you should have joined our Espanol Básico session. It was hilarious. It was wow. It's crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't. I really wanted to, but I was following on YouTube Live, but I wasn't able to. Like, I wasn't really participating because I was meeting.
If you were there, then many girls would probably volunteer to role play. But it was so cute. Dewi was blushing all the time, painting, and there's some plot twist in the telenovela. Oh my God, this is so hilarious.
Yeah, plot twists in telenovela are always epic.
Yeah. There's a plot twist because there are a couple who started to introduce themselves, but then they said that one is married and one has a girlfriend, and we're like, and why are you guys here?
So a telenovela, live telenovela.
Yeah, it's like a reality show.
Yeah, I really wanted to attend that session. So I heard that it was really fun. I saw all the posts, like people enjoyed it. And yeah.
We can do a second edition with you then.
No, we can do it like Cristina and I together, maybe.
Oh, wow. Nebria edition, speed dating. Oh my God.
Yeah, I wanted to do that one. Speed dating.
Yeah,
it sounds fun to do. Like even not just to teach, but to be part of it. It sounds so fun.
Exactly.
But for a teacher also, it's fun to teach those lessons.
Exactly. Actually, we were inspired by Nebriha's speed dating session a while ago, which was very different from the one that we did, but we just sort of took it and then ran with it with the flirty stuff. But yeah, it was inspired by Nebriha.
What's your favorite flirting sentence, Tita?
Apa ya? I just love when they use food to like So, oh no, I like this one. I like when they call gordito, gordita.
Oh, gordito, gordita. Yeah, that's something like cultural, hard to understand, right? What would you call your boyfriend or the person you wanna like flirt with? What would you call him or call her? Gordito, gordita, fatty, for boy or girl. Yeah.
But it's really funny.
But that's next level connection. When you can call your girlfriend or the person you're flirting with those words, it's already a connection that
exactly. You wouldn't say that in like the first 2 minutes.
No.
Yeah.
That's a formula for breakup. Fast breakup formula.
Oh my God. Dewi, do you want to record this or is it recording already?
I think it says it's recording. It says live already and recording on top.
Recording and live.
Recording and live.
Wow.
Hola a todos. Wah, udah ada banyak nih. Ada siapa nih? Coba kita lihat. Ada Ola Channing, Nico, Rani, Rose, Sabrina, Sylvia, Tiara, Trisna, Tiwi. Okay, aku mau tanya nih. Who has been joining us since the very first day of Hispanic Week? Other than me, of course. Ada yang pernah udah ikut Hispanic Week dari hari pertama dan nggak ada bolong-bolongnya? Nggak ada kayaknya. Wah, kita doang. Ada yang udah ikut lebih dari 3 sesi? Masa nggak ada juga sih? Kayaknya Tiara sering nih ikut. Aku menghafal nama-nama. Siapa lagi? YouTube udah rame. Should we start or should we wait? We can wait for 5 or 7 more minutes. Alright. Oh, Tiara yang bolong hari Jumat aja. Hari Jumat tuh berarti reggaeton ya. Wah, kamu melewatkan kita joget-joget dan karaoke.
I want to know a bit about that session, Tita. How was the reggaeton session?
The reggaeton session? Well, you know, we started with some karaoke, with some Colombian songs for karaoke. But then, of course, because we are very inexperienced in this sort of thing, we got caught by YouTube because we were violating copyrights.
Oh no!
So after a few warnings, we got kicked out of YouTube, and everyone had to move to Zoom.
Oh, that's bad. But do you get to learn any dance move?
No, unfortunately not, because we were learning more about the genre and the songs and everything. So we didn't get to learn the dance move, but we are keeping it for the next, session. Maybe the next session we will be about dancing.
That'll be fun.
Yeah,
I think reggaeton is that sort of dance from Latin America that doesn't have any specific rule other than just to try to make it as sexy as you can.
I know. Someone was asking the question. So, and then we said that, we just roll your hip. That's it.
Yeah. And then it's up to you what you do. And that's why you can see some crazy moves sometimes that looks like, wow, what is she doing or what is he doing?
Yeah. And it's really interesting because there are a lot of types of reggaeton as well. So it's not one reggaeton. We have all kinds of reggaeton. And it's kind of crazy because, before I get into all this Hispanic world or Hispanic culture, I never, ever heard any Latin songs in this country.
But correct me if I'm wrong, Tita, but you studied like from a Colombian teacher, right? Your Spanish is sort of like
I went to Colombia, yeah. I got a scholarship to study Spanish in Colombia, and then I stayed there for 4 months. So from zero Spanish, I went there straight, and then I came with a B1, I think. And so it was.
So how come you didn't get to listen to reggaeton in Colombia? In Colombia?
No. I mean in Indonesia. In Indonesia. Before that, we never hear like reggaeton is not. It's nowhere. I learned about it there. I learned all the Latin music there. And then when I came home, reggaeton started to, became popular.
Uh-huh.
And suddenly in the past 5 years, we can listen to Latin music on the radio, and it feels so surreal to me. It's like, why sudden like these songs are haunting me and reminding me of my time in Colombia.
Uh-huh. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And now Rosalia is, as also making Spanish music popular everywhere. Wow.
Yeah, Rosalia, it's at first when my students would mention Rosalia, I really thought they were speaking about the drama or Cinetron, like Rosalia, but it sounds like name from Cinetron. But then I found it's actually a very famous singer from Spain, and it's actually really good. It was my new discovery very recently.
I love Rosalia. And she started to incorporate a lot like other genre as well, because she started with flamenco, but then she started to incorporate pop and reggaeton as well. So it's just everyone went crazy.
Yeah, Rosalia is such a special artist. I was really listening to her yesterday, and when she sings, I'm native speaker, Spanish native speaker, but I wasn't able to follow what she was.
That's what they say about her.
She has this very thick accent, and the way that she pronounces things is very special, very her.
I heard it's how the gypsy, like the flamenco singer, pronounce those words. So some syllables are skipped. How the flamenco singer sing it, and she has a Catalan accent. So it's just like a mix of everything. So yeah, I heard that even like Latin people, they can't understand anything that she said.
Yeah. It's because when it comes to reggaeton, it's not really about the lyric. Sometimes the lyrics are so like don't make sense.
Ridiculous.
But we still like the sound. There's the beats. I don't know why, but this beats makes us like move automatically.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to listen to the lyrics. You just feel the music.
Okay, so interesting music, right?
Yeah. I think we can, we can have a presentation on music next time.
Yeah, we can make our favorite playlist from Latin America or Spain, like Spanish songs. Okay. But today is about cooking, right?
A lot of people. Yeah, today is a lot about cooking. We were going to cook this morning. We can listen to some music later, maybe, but I think we can start now because we already have 32 people and some people waiting for us on YouTube as well. So we can start now. What do you? All right.
I agree.
Okay. First of all, as usual, Hola, Hispanistas. Buenos días a todos. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the last day of Hispanic Week 2021. I am Primarita, and I cannot believe that this is my last time hosting here on Hispanic Week. I've had so much fun for the past 7 days. I hope you've learned many new and interesting things about Hispanic cultures and Spanish language, which is the very objective of our community, Dime Por Qué, and the reason why we exist. and the reason why we organized this event. So thanks to all of you, our mission is accomplished. All right, so I say this every day because it's true. We're going to have a super interesting presentation this morning from Iván Arias from Cocina Creativa. Hola, Iván. Who happens to be my Spanish teacher in Instituto Nebrija. And you know what? Usually he's the one who makes me do a presentation in class, but today is revenge time because I get to make him do the presentation. And not just a presentation, but also to cook on Zoom. Lo siento, profe. I'm just kidding.
Don't worry.
However, today Ivan is not going to teach us Spanish, but he's going to take us on a really cool trip through Latin America. How cool is that? As usual, apart from Zoom, we're also live on YouTube. But I think it's better if we all get connected here together. So I invite all of you from who's watching us on YouTube to join us on Zoom here. So we're waiting for you guys. All right, so as usual, during the presentation, you can always ask questions and we will try to answer them during the Q&A session. Ask away in any language, Indonesian, English, or Spanish, even better, because we have a teacher here. So if you might want to practice your Spanish. Today is also the last day for you to join the Instagram Stories competition. We have grand prizes from our sponsor, Line Open Chat Indonesia. So make sure to post before midnight, before you go to bed, and use the hashtag Hispanic Week 21 and mention us at dime.por.ke, line.indo, and our speaker for today, which is Cocina Creativa at cocinacreativa.id. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that I can see everyone here and introduce Iván. Hola, Iván.
Hola, Tita. Hola a todos. ¿Qué tal, Tita?
Bien, bien. ¿Y tú?
Muy bien, gracias, Tita. So, first of all, Tita, I also want to say good morning, everyone. Okay, buenos días a todos and selamat pagi semuanya. Okay, so let me see who is here because I think I see many familiar faces already on the Zoom session. So I can see here many of my students actually. So I can see them here. And I also see many new faces. So I'm very excited today because like Tita said, maybe today is your time to evaluate me. Maybe now it's the vengeance time. So be good with your grades, okay? So after that, you can give me your comments if you want. But today is not really about evaluation. Today is about having fun, okay? So nice to meet you all. For those who I haven't met yet, I'm Iván. I'm from Chile. And also, I'm one of the co-founders of Cocina Creativa Spices, okay? So today, I'll be presenting 5 flavors of Latin America. This is an exclusive show for Hispanic Week by Cocina Creativa. So today, one moment, I just need to make this full screen. So can you all see my slide, just to make sure?
Yes, good.
Okay, so before we go, I present this trip, I wanna take a few seconds. To thank the community Dime Por Qué for putting all this amazing event together. So if you can activate your mic, let's give them a big applause, please. So it's an amazing for everyone to be able to share this time all together, okay? So also it is a great time for us because we get to share our passion with all of you. So I hope that you all enjoy this presentation today. All right. So we're gonna begin with this presentation. You can see everything is sort of like travel themed because we are going to travel through Latin America. We are going to visit 5 countries and we are going to discover 5 of their iconic flavors, okay? The good thing about this trip, you don't need your passport, you don't need your luggage or vaccination whatsoever. You only need to sit tight, watch the camera and enjoy the show, all right? On our second part of this presentation, we are going to grill steak Okay, I'm going to teach you how to grill steak in less than 10 minutes using the 5 iconic flavors of Latin America. Wow. So first part, travel. Second part, I'll be the cook of the show. All right. So before we go on this trip together, I want to give you a very short story about us, Cocina Creativa. Cocina Creativa means creative kitchen in Spanish. Cocina is kitchen, Creativa is creative. And and Cocina Creativa, like I said, is creative kitchen. And we don't pronounce it cocina, like some of my friends have said to me, cocina or coquina. It's cocina because it's Spanish. So Cocina Creativa started in the year 2018 on this trip that my girlfriend and I did to Chile. So we spent about 3.5 weeks there, and we visited many places. We went to Atacama Desert, but well, it was really fun. But one of the problems of this trip is that my girlfriend had really hard time choosing what to eat at restaurants because she would always describe Chile food as tasteless or has no taste. My girlfriend is Indonesian, by the way, so you can imagine that has really high expectations on food, right? So she was not really enjoying the food part of the trip until one day we went back to Santiago de Chile, which is the capital and my home country, my home city. And we went to Mercado Central. Mercado Central is a central market of Santiago. It's located in the heart of the city. And here we have a traditional market that has a sample of many of the traditional foods of Chile. So here I took her to eat the traditional ribs with merquén. Okay, the traditional ribs seasoned with merquén. Merquén is this spice you can see on the photo. And it's a spice that tastes a bit like smoky, spicy, and fragrant, okay? But the most amazing part of merquén is not only its flavor, but also who makes the merquén. Merquén is made by the Aboriginal people of Chile called Mapuche. Okay, so imagine this amazing spice. So my girlfriend, as soon as she tried that dish, she fell in love with merquén and she became really obsessed with it. So during the rest of the trip, she would add merquén to absolutely every single food, even to foods or drinks that Chileans we don't even think of. Okay, so imagine she would add merquén to her hot chocolate in the morning to add that extra touch of spicy and smoky flavor. So it was actually really good. So we started researching a lot about merquén, and we found that this merquén is made by the Aboriginal people who live in Chile in the south, and actually they have lived there for hundreds and hundreds of years, even before the Spaniards came to America. Remember that the Spaniards came to America in 1492, and Mapuches were already living in this area of the country. So it's really millennial, hundreds of years of experience to really master the art of making this amazing spice. So we promised with my girlfriend that we would bring this spice to Indonesia, and today merquén is the core of our project, is our baby, and today is what connects us with the roots of Latin America. In the next slide, I want to share with you a very famous painting by the painter Pedro Subercaseaux that shows the Mapuche people, specifically El Joven Lautaro, the young Lautaro, a Mapuche leader, after defeating the Spaniards in a battle in the south of Chile. So the Spaniards, when they came to Latin America, they pretty much killed most of the Aboriginal people, the indigenous people of America. But when they reached Chile, they couldn't defeat Mapuche. And Spaniards were always trying to make their way to the south, but Mapuche were able to stop them. And until today, we can find Mapuche in the south of Chile. So imagine how special this spice is for us. So merquén was the beginning of our romantic story with Cocina Creativa. And soon after that, we added some other spices to our portfolio. We added chimichurri from Argentina. You maybe have heard about this spice. Also taco seasoning from Mexico and adobo from Cuba. The key part for our project is every time we release a new spice, it has to have premium ingredients and it has to connect with the root of Latin America, okay? But after releasing all the spices, we felt like this collection cannot be complete if we don't consider grilling spices, because for Latin Americans, grilling is a really important part because it's not only about taste, but also about connection with people. So every Sunday or every Saturday, we meet with our family, friends around fire to grill some steak. This activity can last hours, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4 hours, and we can connect 2 meals sometimes when grilling. So it's really amazing activity. And today we want to share this grilling culture with you. First, we want to take you on a trip so we can discover the spices that we are going to use today. And second, I'm going to teach you how to grill in the Latin American way in less than 10 minutes. All right. So that was the introduction for Cocina Creativa. And now the main part, okay? Like I said before, the main objective for this presentation, number one, I'm going to take you on a trip through Latin America. Are you ready? So make sure you have your backpack with you because we are going to collect one spice for each country. So 5 countries, 5 spices, okay? So to begin our trip, we are going to travel 15,500 kilometers from Jakarta to the opposite side of the world. We are going to land in Santiago de Chile, which is the capital of this country that looks long and narrow next to the Pacific Ocean. After Chile, we are going to cross the Andes Mountain and we are going to visit the romantic city of Buenos Aires, Argentina. So Buenos Aires, Argentina is the capital of Argentina, and I'm going to take you to El Barrio de la Boca, one of the most traditional neighborhoods in Buenos Aires, where we're going to discover the traditional herbal and fresh flavors. All right. Our third destination is Brazil. It is not a Hispanic country because Hispanic country means they speak Spanish. Brazil is a country in Latin America, but not Hispanic. They speak Portuguese, but it's the largest country in Latin America. So we cannot ignore this amazing country. And we are going to visit Brazil, specifically the city of Rio de Janeiro, where I'm going to take you to a traditional barbecue steak house or churrasqueria, traditional Brazilian steakhouses. All right. Our fourth destination today is going to be a country that maybe it's more familiar to you, which is Mexico. This Hispanic Week have already had presenters speaking about Mexico. Today, my aim is not to show everything about Mexico, but one of the most iconic flavors of this country, the spicy and sweet flavors. Vale? Our fifth destination, it's probably one of the most, let's say, romantic trips, okay? Because we are going to take a boat. We are not going to take a plane because we're going to go from Mexico to the island of Cuba in Havana. So the reason why we're taking a boat is because I want you to see the crystal clear waters of the Caribbean Ocean, okay? And then arrive in Havana. After Havana, we're going to take our backpack with all our spices and we're going to fly back to Jakarta so I can teach you how to grill these steaks. All right. So let's begin our trip to Chile. Here we land in Chile. We are going to take a 30 hours flight from Jakarta. Imagine 30 hours flight. And we are going to land in the capital of Chile, Santiago. Here on the right side of my screen, you can see the map of Chile and also 2 photos. I want to show these 2 things because Chile is a country of contrasts. What does it mean? Well, in the north, we have the driest desert on Earth, which is the Atacama Desert. It basically doesn't rain at all during the year, and the temperatures can reach 45 degrees easily every day. Okay, very dry desert. Then in the very south of Chile, we can find really cold temperatures. We can see penguins and these huge ice glaciers. So if you ever want to visit Chile, you have these 2 opposites. But our trip will begin right in the center, Santiago. It's right in the center of these 2 opposites. And here, I'm going to show you the exotic flavors of merquén, this spicy and smoky flavors. All right. So to discover merquén, as soon as we arrive at the airport, I'm going to take you to Central Market in Santiago or Mercado Central. This is where our journey began in 2018. And here's where we discovered merquén. All right. So merquén is this smoky and spicy flavor made by the Mapuche people. But what is exactly merquén? Why is it so special? Well, merquén, like I said before, is number 1 made by the Mapuche people of Chile. So it means that it has really hundreds of years of history. And second, it has an amazing flavor. My girlfriend had ever tried anything like it. Well, merquén is a combination of 4 different spices. Number 1, ají cacho de cabra or goat's horn chili. Okay, goat's horn looks like a goat's horn chili. That is a special type of chili that grows specifically in the south of Chile. Number 2, toasted coriander. Number 3 is cumin, and number 4 is salt. So all these ingredients are mixed together and make merquén. But merquén is not only the 4 spices, but also the process, the Mapuche people. What is really the process of making merquén? Okay, so first you can see this photo, ají cacho de cabra. It's planted in the south of Chile exclusively by the Mapuche people. Then it's harvested and sun-dried for several weeks until it's fully dried. Imagine a chili that is fully dried, looks like cardboard, okay? And then after that, the chili is brought into these traditional Mapuche kitchens that you can see on the photo. It says here, the second photo on the left is brought into the kitchen and smoked, okay? This magical process is what really makes merquén so special, because here's where the chili absorbs all the flavors of the smoke and the wood. Okay, so it's just magical spice. Then this, you can see on the third photo on the bottom, you can see a traditional Mapuche house. So normally Mapuches use this spice to add that extra flavor that Chilean cuisine doesn't really have. Okay, remember that Chilean cuisine is very is mostly influenced by Spanish cuisine, which makes it more plain flavors. But merquén that add that extra flavor to all the Chilean dishes. So for us Chileans, merquén is one of that basic flavors that we want to add to absolutely everything. We add it to pasta, we add it to hot chocolate, like my girlfriend discovered recently. Also, we added to our traditional seasoning for the meat. And today, before we leave Chile, we're going to go back to the traditional market and we are going to buy 1 jar of merquén, which is the spice we are going to use today to grill one of the traditional flavors of Chile, okay? Steak with merquén. All right, would you like to visit Chile one day? I absolutely recommend it. It's my home country, but you'll be mesmerized. You'll be mesmerized by the landscape, all right? So highly recommended. And now our second destination is Argentina, the neighboring country of Argentina. So to go to Argentina, we first need to cross the Andes Mountains. The Andes Mountains is the longest mountain range in the whole world. It starts from the very south and ends in the very north of the continent. It's the longest mountain range. It's not one mountain, it's 100 mountains connected in it's like a mountain range. Okay, here there's a photo of the Andes Mountain. And we are going to land in the romantic city of Buenos Aires, the capital of Argentina. In Argentina, I want to show you that Argentina's cuisine has been mostly, when somebody asks about what is it really like Argentinian cuisine, most people say it's a blend of European flavors. Is it really European flavors? Well, 83% of the population in Argentina are European descendants. Imagine that, a country 83%. And 63% alone, they're all from Argentina. Sorry, from Italy. All right, so 83 from Europe, 63 from Italy. So we have a country that's highly influenced by Italian culture. And as you know, Italians love fresh and herbal flavors, such as rosemary, thyme, parsley. So we can also always see this type of spices influencing the cuisine. So in Argentina, I'm going to take you to the traditional neighborhood of La Boca in Buenos Aires. La Boca is that picturesque neighborhood with colorful houses and also full of tango. You can see people dancing tango on the street, what adds that extra romanticism to the experience, all right? So in Barrio de la Boca, I'm going to take you to a traditional Argentinian steak house. Yes, we are going to eat meat and we are going to order any meat. And you will see that as soon as the meat arrives in our table, they will serve it with this traditional salsa called chimichurri. Chimichurri is probably, well, if you Google what is the most common spice in Argentina, it will show chimichurri, because chimichurri is basically made by every family in Argentina, and every family has their different proportions and different combinations, but basically it combines different herbal flavors in one sauce. And this is used as a topping for the meat. So chimichurri has been influenced by Italians, and today chimichurri is one of the signature flavors of Argentina. But we have another flavor that's very, very common, and it's absolutely in every pantry in Argentina, which is Italian seasoning or Italian herbs seasoning, the one you can see on top. And Argentinians use them for the chicken, their meat, for pizza, pasta, absolutely everything, because Argentinians love herbal flavors. All right. So before we leave Barrio de la Boca, we're going to listen a little bit of tango, and we are going to buy the traditional Italian rub, because today we are also using this herbal flavor for cooking, right? Would you like to visit Argentina? Maybe we can watch a football match in the famous stadium of Boca Juniors, which is right next to this neighborhood. Okay, if you like football, feel free to one day visit Argentina, because you will enjoy football culture here. All right. Third destination is our non-Hispanic country, but Latin American, of Brazil. Okay, so from Argentina, we are going to take a flight to Rio de Janeiro. So as soon as we're landing in Rio de Janeiro, we can see through our window Sugarloaf Mountain. It's a very, this is the postcard of every, well, there are many postcards in Rio de Janeiro, but probably Sugarloaf Mountain is one of them, okay? Sugarloaf Mountain is a peak situated in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Its name is said to refer to its resemblance to the traditional shape of concentrated refined sugar loaf. Imagine a sugar loaf. Yes, this mountain looks like a sugar loaf, right? Okay, so we land in the amazing city of Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. Brazil is such a special country. It's the largest country in Latin America, first of all, and also home to famous beaches, famous cities, famous football players around the world, and of course, the world famous Carnival of Rio. That should be in your bucket list one day. You have to visit Rio de Janeiro Carnival in Rio de Janeiro. You want to go? Yes. But today it's not about visiting the Carnival of Rio, it's to know what is the signature flavor of Brazil. So Brazilian cuisine is highly influenced by, look at this, Aboriginal flavors, African flavors, Spanish cuisine, and also Asian cuisine. So in Brazil, we can find more flavorful dishes, and we have a more daring cuisine, more bold flavors, such as the one we are going to discover today. To discover this specific flavor of Brazil, sweet and savory, I'm going to take you to Copacabana Beach, right next to the ocean. You can see the first photo on top of my left is Copacabana Beach, one of the most iconic beaches of Rio de Janeiro. Looks magical, right? Here, I'm going to take you to a traditional churrasqueria. You can see the second photo. Churrasqueria is a traditional Brazilian steakhouse or barbecue house. And these barbecue houses, they serve the meat in a very specific way, very it's sort of like a show, right? So they serve it in this, they serve the meat on these skewers, they cut it and they put it directly onto your plate. So Brazilian churrasqueria serve meat in many different flavors. You can try maybe 10 different flavors in one seat. You pay one price and it's all you can eat. But if you ask any Brazilian what is the most traditional meat in a churrasqueria, probably they would say the traditional picanha. Okay, picanha is one of those cuts from the beef that has a thin layer of fat on the side, and normally is seasoned with these flavors that are just amazing. Okay, so today in this restaurant, we are going to unveil their secret, their spices, the spices they use to season their traditional picanha. And their spice uses more than 14 different ingredients. Imagine how complex this spice is. So when you try it, you feel it notes of basically everything. So yes, this spice is highly influenced by the culture. You can see many influences into one single rub. And this is the third rub what we are going to use today to grill our steaks. Would you like to visit Rio de Janeiro, Buenos Aires, or Santiago so far? What is your decision? Get ready to write your comments always on YouTube or on Zoom, because at the end, we will be giving away all the spices, all right? So we'll see who is actually letting us know what's the country they would like to visit, all right? So Brazil, our non-Hispanic country, but Latin American, is the third destination, and now we're ready to move on to our fourth destination. Guess what? We're going to Mexico. All right. So Mexico, the land of tacos, burritos, and fiestas. It's a very colorful culture. I love Mexico. And Mexico, their cuisine is just something so special, because when we think of Mexico, it's really hard to describe how Mexican food tastes like, because it's one of the most complex cuisines of Latin America. Mexican cuisine has long 1,000 years of history from the pre-Hispanic culture, the Mayan culture. So imagine thousands of years already influencing today's cuisine. Just magic, right? So when we think of Mexican food, it's really hard to pinpoint what is the exact flavor that Mexicans love. They like sweet, they like flavorful, they also like herbal, they like fresh ingredients. So what is exactly what they love? Look at this. Every Mexican or Mexican food, if you ask any Mexican, you will see that Mexicans love chili. Without any doubt, chili is one of the key ingredients of Mexican cuisine. Look at this also information. Mexican cuisine uses more than 150 varieties of chili. And Mexican food doesn't use chili only because of their heat, but also because of their flavor. There are chilies that are spicy, a little bit spicy, but mostly their flavor is just different. Okay, for example, smoky chili. Okay, so in Mexico, I'm not going to take you to any fancy restaurant, steakhouses, or any market. I'm going to take you directly to the streets, because Mexican cuisine, Mexican kitchen or Mexican food is famous for their street food. So Mexican street food. Here, I'm going to take you to a tabaqueria. That is the place that makes tacos. Okay, for all places that make tacos are called tabaquerias. So tabaquerias is an important part of street food and also restaurant food. But I want to take you to street food because we find more like traditional flavors. So here I'm going to introduce to you the famous chipotle chili. Chipotle chili is a smoked chili pepper used in Mexican cooking that tastes a bit smoky. So one of my favorite tacos is fish taco. So today we cannot show you all the different flavors of Mexican cuisine because it's complex, but I'm going to show you my favorite taco is fish taco that uses chipotle flavors of smoky and spicy flavors and mixed with sugar. It's very complex, but it's my favorite. And here I'm going to show you also that Mexicans don't only use chipotle for the tacos, they can use it for seasoning any type of meat. For the fish, it's just amazing. And also for the meat. So today we are going to use chipotle chili to season our steak, and we will see what comes out from this. All right. So in Mexico, don't forget to hear the traditional Mexican songs. It's just amazing. And the charros. Okay. So our aim for today was actually play some music for you, but we already know that we cannot play music because of copyright on YouTube Live. But if you ever want to hear Mexican music, it's just amazing. If you make tacos, mix it with a little bit of music and will taste just better. All right. Our last destination and trips. This trip is getting to an end, but wait for it because this part is also magical. I said we are not going to take a plane to Cuba. Okay, so from Mexico, we are not going to take a plane. We are going to take a boat because I want to show you the Caribbean Sea. The Caribbean Sea has crystal clear waters like the one on the photo. And the distance between Mexico and Havana is approximately 500 kilometers. So today I'm going to take you on a boat, 500 kilometers, maybe on a speedboat. That will take only 2 seconds. But we are going to land after these 2 seconds in the famous city of Havana, Cuba. So Havana, have you listened to the songs that mention Havana? Yes, it's a just different place. As soon as we arrive in Havana, we see that the city got stuck in time. It's like a time capsule to the 1940s or 1950s, where these cars, like vintage cars, still run through the streets, and people still smoke the traditional Cuban cigars. You can see in the photos Habanos, which is the name of the Cuban cigars. If you like tobacco, you might know that this is extremely luxurious thing. Okay, it's just something special. Many people have their Habano ready for when they win the soccer match, or when they achieve a business, or they close a deal for business. They smoke their traditional Habanos. There's nothing better than this. But today it's not about the Habanos. It's about knowing what is the traditional spice of Cuba. So in Cuba, it's very special cuisine because it has influence from basically 3 different sources. Number 1 is African culture. Okay, Cuba, there's a lot of African descendants. Number 2 is Spanish. So we have a special blend of African, Spanish, and most importantly, also Aboriginal people. Okay, so 3 different sources to influence this amazing cuisine, Cuba. So in Cuba, I'm going to take you to the main square of Havana. We're going to ride one of those vintage cars all together. And I'm going to take you to a rooftop in next to the main square in Havana, where we are going to try the traditional mojo chicken. You can see on top of the screen, the zesty mojo chicken. Zesty mojo chicken is a traditional chicken dish that has flavors of orange, lime, and lemon. Okay, so imagine, it's hard to imagine like a food that combines orange, lime, and lemon. That, trust me, it's one of the most amazing discoveries that I've made in this last years, because it just tastes amazing. Okay, so don't try to think that if you eat that chicken, it's like biting on an orange. It's more like biting on something that's so flavorful that maybe almost will make you cry. Okay, so mojo is this romantic flavor of Cuba. And now that we discovered mojo, we are going to put it in our backpack because this is our 5th spice. And now we are ready to return to Jakarta. Okay, it's a bit sad, no? Pandemic, already traveled on Zoom or YouTube Live, and now we are ready to return to Jakarta. But I will give you 15 minutes, okay? So you can maybe take a ride on those vintage cars again, or go and buy Habanos to bring home. Isn't it that nice? Okay, so let's take our trip back. Let's take our plane back to Jakarta, because now after this amazing trip through Latin America, these 5 different countries, we have already collected 5 different flavors. We have the smoky and spicy merquén from Chile. We have the fresh and herbal Italian rub from Argentina. Remember, Italians, 63% in Argentina. Then we have the non-Hispanic spice, okay? Our Latin American spice from Brazil that combines sweet and savory flavors. Then we have our street food rub that is spicy and sweet chipotle from Mexico. And our 5th spice is mojo from Cuba, our magical spice that has all this history behind. All right, let us know what is the spice that you would like to try, or what is the country that you would like to visit. So let me ask some of you, because today we are going to make a competition. I want to see what is the winning spice today. So Tita, what country or what spice do you would like to try out of all this?
I would love to try the one from Cuba, which is zesty.
Zesty. Okay, zesty. Do you imagine how it would taste like orange, lemon in one?
Yeah, it's a weird taste. It's not very common here in Indonesia because we're so used to like ayam bakar, which is a little bit sweet and spicy. But I think it could be similar because sometimes we put some lime on top.
Correct.
Or grill, yeah. So yeah. I think it could be similar. So it's interesting.
Yeah, in Indo, you also use this. What's the name of this jeruk that's green and small?
Jeruk nipis, yeah.
Jeruk nipis, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I tried with jeruk nipis, but the orange makes this spice a bit sweet as well. So the orange is very, very special. So good choice, Tita. So let me ask Henry. Henry, I know that he sees that he hasn't eaten breakfast, maybe.
No,
Henry.
not yet. Not yet.
Okay, what is your favorite spice? What's the flavor you would like to try?
In this case, I would try the Italian from Argentina.
Ah, Italian from Argentina. Okay.
Yeah,
It has this historic thing, right? I
yes,
mean,
it looks very appealing.
okay. So, Tita, you will choose mojo from Cuba. We have Henry. He chooses Italian from Argentina. I would choose, guess what? American wrap from Chile. I'm from Chile, okay?
Of
My
course.
opinion,
Of course.
my opinion might be a bit biased, okay? I know, but I just want to teach you today how to grill the 5 steaks. We are going to try only a few, okay,
Yeah.
of this. But now we come to the second part of the show. Now that we have finished our trip through Latin America, I'm going to teach you how to grill your steaks, all right? So for the second part, get ready for epic flame and flavor because we are going to grill using these 5 flavors that we have collected from Latin America in only 10 minutes, all right? So maybe my students might want to start timing Professor Ivan, and like, Professor, you took longer than 10 minutes, all
I'm
right?
taking notes.
I
I'm taking
promise
notes
that
here.
I would take a bit more, okay? I'll take a bit more, but I will be cooking 5 steaks, okay? So don't be too too harsh on me, please, because I would take longer because I would I'll be giving also tips on how to get your steak perfect, all right? So what you will need today is basically 4 ingredients. Very simple. Number 1 is source of heat. What does it mean, source of heat? Anything that has fire. I'll be using grill pan. You can use a grill, you can use saucepan, or you can use your oven at home. Okay. Any tool you have at home will be it will just work fine. All right. I'll be giving tips on how to adapt this recipe to your different let's say oven, because my grill pan is very simple to use and just automatically you adjust the temperature. So like an oven, but hot plate. Okay. The second thing that you will need today is strip loin or any type of meat. You can choose literally any type of meat that is good for grilling, but I'll be choosing strip loin because it's a meat that is just tender and soft. It's good for grilling, and most importantly, it's not that expensive. Okay, so Jakarta, surprisingly, all the meats are so expensive, but strip loin, I think it's just okay. All right, so you can choose any meat that you want. The third one is oil, just a little bit. Here it shows like it's a lot, but actually it's just a tiny bit. And of course, our 4 ingredient is flavors. Any flavor that you want. You can use even your Indonesian flavors, but today we are going to be using our 5 iconic flavors of Latin America. All right. So also today we have made an extra effort. Trust me that we put a lot of effort on this, even though it doesn't look technically challenging. We will be using 2 cameras on our session today. Okay. Camera number 1 is the one that's behind me, that's actually focusing on the food. So please look at camera number 1, Cocina Creativa, on your screen. Okay. If you want to look at it, for those who are on Zoom, you can pin the camera so you can keep always my 2 cameras visible. So camera number 1 shows the process that I'll be cooking, and camera number 2, I'll keep it activated so you can see the full picture of our show. All right. So Tita, can you confirm that you can see my hand in the camera?
Yes,
number
we
1?
can see your hand.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Muy bien. Oof. This was technical challenge, trust me. Okay, this is home cooking, but we did our best to show you.
Buena suerte para la presentación.
Gracias. So now I'm going to move behind the table, and now I'm not your tour guide anymore. I will be your cook, okay? So, all right. So let me see. Okay. I will be moving behind the table. If there's any inconvenience, you just let me know because I can still hear you. All right. One moment. Okay. Ta-da! Can you all hear me? Ita, please let me know if you can hear clear.
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfectamente.
Okay. All right. So this is the cooking show today. I'll be cooking for you 5 different steaks using 5 different flavors of Latin America. All right. Like I said before, we will need only 4 ingredients. I have my source of heat, that is grill pan. Second, you will need meat. I have it on top here, so you can see camera number 2, strip loin, already cut it. Number 3, you will need use oil. You can use any oil that you want. Okay, so that's very simple. And number 4, any spice. Like I said before, we are going to use 5 different spices. So get ready to cook, right? So step number 1, okay, I'm going to cook the steak in 3 different steps. Okay. Step number 1 is very important, is that you get your grill hot. Okay, so I'm going to set my grill at 220 Celsius. Okay, so if you have an oven, if you have your grill, you can still use it. If you're cooking with a grill, the way we do it in Latin America, we put our hand. Oops, one moment, please. I think the hand is covering. Okay. So, like I was saying, when about the source of heat, the way that if you don't have any like fancy tool that sets the temperature automatically, the way we do it is you turn the fire and you put your hand near the grill, and if you can keep your hand at 5 centimeters from the grill for 5 seconds, the fire is just fine. If you put your hand and it's too hot, if it's too hot, then it means that it's above 220, right? So don't touch the grill. I'm saying 5 centimeters from the grill. If there's any complaint about that tip, I'm warning you that you shouldn't touch the grill, all right? So like I said before, we are going to grill today in 3 different steps. Step number 1, we are going to heat up our grill pan at 220 Celsius, all right? So already getting hot, so I just want to leave it there for a bit. Number 2 is we are going to put the rubs on our meat, okay? So step number 2 is the rub on the meat, and step number 3 is just basically grill, all right? So step 1 already done, because it's already going up the temperature to 220. And now we are going to rub our steak, all right? So here you can see the steak, okay? This is strip loin. This is a strip loin. And I have cut the strip loin into pieces of 200 grams, all right? So I have pieces of 200 grams here. So you can see the 200 gram steak. Okay, so it's all right here. One moment. And now we are going to add the rub. Okay. So I'm going to open the rubs so you can see it, and this make sure that when you are cutting the meat, you don't put the meat on top of your cutting board. Okay, use a different surface, because with the raw meat has some bacteria, so you should keep it separate always. Okay, so I cut the meat on top of a glass tray, and then after that's cooked, I'll place it on my cutting board. All right. So that's one of the important things. So I'm going to open my wraps. So here we have Merken. I'm going to open Italian. This is an herbal flavor. I'm going to open Brazilian. This is the reddish and bright complex flavors of Rio de Janeiro. Then we're going to have the Chipotle rub, the street food rub from Mexico. And finally, Tita's favorite rub, which is Mojo rub. Even the color already spread like orange and white Tita. So you can see that already has some orange, lime, and lemon. All right. Now I'm gonna wash my hands. So give me 1 second, because for rubbing the spices on the meat, I like using my hands. Some people like using spoon, but personally, I really love using my hands for this step. Right? Okay, hands clean. Okay, no rings. Okay, so make sure you don't have anything on you. And now I'm going to grill. I'm going to rub the meat. Right? Okay, so let's begin with 1 spoon. Okay, I have 200 grams of meat. Okay, 200 grams of meat. This is equal to 1 spoon of merken. All right. So look at this. I'm going to take 1 spoon and I'm going to add it to my meat directly. So half spoon on one side. As you can see, I'm not using oil at all, right? So here I have the merken rub. I can always smell some smoky and spicy, even though I haven't eaten it yet. Right? If it's not enough rub, don't worry, you can just add extra rub to your meat, right? So there you are. So all the leftover rub that is on the tray, you can just put it in this way, right? Yes, so you make sure that your meat is all covered with the rub. All right. So here, even if the spices mix a little bit, don't worry, because this is just something that you cannot avoid, okay? So here we have Merken, all right, and now our second is Italian. Our second is our Italian rub. So for the second, I want to wash my hands again. Okay, so Italian is our second spice. Here we are. So remember, 1 spoon, it should be enough for 200 grams, but you feel free to add more. This is our Italian rub. This is Henry's favorite. Henry, have you ever tried Italian? Is Henry there?
Hello.
Hola,
Yes.
Henry.
Oh, sorry, I have problems with my signals.
Okay,
Yes.
no problem, Henry. Henry, I was asking, have you had Italian rub ever?
Italian rub? No, I don't think so.
Even
Normally,
though it's not so common, right?
yeah, it's not very common.
I would say that even though this flavor is mostly from Argentinian influence, in Chile, this is basically in every country also. So we have Merken, Italian, these are the two most basic flavors that we can find in any Chilean cuisine. So yeah, you made the right choice because this is very like a basic spice for us. So here we have Merken, we have Italian ready. And now we're going to go to our third country. Remember, it's the Brazilian steakhouse rub. Okay, can you see the red color? It's very, very red, and it's very nice. 14 different spices in one single jar. Okay, so this one is just amazing. So here they have the red color. We're gonna flip it. Okay, we're gonna flip it here. We're gonna continue adding the rub. And remember, the leftover rub like that, you use it for the sides like this, so you don't waste any of your rub. Make sure that you just fully coat it with all the rubs on your meat, all right? So while I'm doing this process, I want to give you one tip about the meat. Okay, so the meat has to be fully dried. What does it mean fully dried? Cannot have any water inside. So in order to get your meat fully dried, for example, last night I defrosted it. Okay, I defrosted it just with water, and then took it out of the plastic and put it into the fridge overnight. Okay, so I defrosted the meat. One, it was with no ice. I put it in the fridge overnight, and I took it at 8 a.m. today. So that's why it looks so dry, but the drier, the better. There are people who even dry meat for months. Okay, but if you just do this process overnight, it should be just all right. Okay, don't be so too picky about this process because it's not so won't change that much the flavor. Okay, it would change the flavor, but not that much. So we have 3 steaks. Okay, let's go to our 4th steak. I'm gonna wash my hands one more time, and we're gonna do the famous chipotle Mexican rub, right? So this chipotle rub takes a bit smoky, sweet, and spicy. A little bit spicy. It's more like brownish color, as you can see here, right? Yes, so we have the chipotle. Unmute.
Unmute that phone.
Okay, 1 second, please. I think I have to unmute this phone. It's gonna hear. No. Okay, Tita, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you
Is
try?
there any freeze?
No, it's okay.
Oh, okay. I was getting informed that people on YouTube cannot see the camera number 1. Is that all right?
Sure.
Can anyone on YouTube see it right now?
I think people cannot see the process of adding these drops on the stage, right? So step number 1, camera number 1 should be the one that shows the process of making the rubbing process. Okay.
What I can do is mute this and you can mute.
Oh, okay. Understand.
Show it on YouTube. You need to unmute.
Do it. Okay, so we're gonna try to fix it somehow by unmuting the phone. Maybe it will work. So Tita.
See, that's the problem. If you use audio for both devices, you will be echoing. So I guess
Hola, hola. Is it still echoing?
no, because it's off. The sound for camera 1 is still off. So that's why it's fine. If you turn it on, then you will have an echo.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes, so
I think it's fine. Everyone on YouTube can join on Zoom if they want to see the both cameras.
Yes.
Even if not, then it's also okay because the camera 2 actually looks really good on YouTube.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So camera 2 looks good on YouTube,
So
right?
it's so it's fine. They can choose.
Okay, well, this is
yeah.
getting fixed. Well, this is getting fixed. All right, I'm going to continue with camera
Okay.
number 2. All right.
Sure.
Okay, so I already did Merkel, Italian, the Brazilian, Mexico, and going to make Cuba. All right. So Cuba, Tita, this is your favorite spice. One moment.
I can't wait. You are going to send it to my house, right? After this?
If I send it to your house, Tita, then I would have to send it to everyone's house, right?
That's the idea. You have to send it to everyone here.
For everyone. Wait, I'll send it to you, Tita, then you can send it to everyone.
Yeah, I will tell everyone how it tastes.
Okay, here we have the mojo. One more time, this mojo is a bit like, oh, you cannot see the camera, but mojo is a bit yellow and orange because of the flavors, the zesty flavors. Zesty means a bit like citric, okay? Like orange and lemon and lime, right? So this one, just a new discovery to me. Like zesty is just new dimension of flavor. I'm going to make 2 with mojo, okay? Because I have 6 pieces of steak. Like I said before, the amount of spice that I'm using is 1 spoon for 200 grams of meat, okay? So here I'm going to use 1 more for mojo. This is probably everyone's favorite. Okay, so here we have, okay, the mojo. All right. So here we have our 6 pieces of steak. Okay, there are 2 pieces with mojo, 1 Merkel, 1 Italian, 1 Chipotle, 1 Brazilian. Okay, so we are done with that part. Remember, our step number 1 was heating up the grill at 220 already. It's all very hot. The grill part already, the rub part already done. So I'm going to show you here, or maybe to camera number 2. So here we have our 6 pieces of steak. All right. So now, next step is grilling, okay? So before we start grilling, I just want to tell you about the grilling culture in Latin America. So as you're looking at me right now, normally my friends or my family would be around the table asking, how am I doing? I'll be asking them like about business, about football matches, or how about Real Madrid and Barcelona, what happened last night. So for us, it's the instance to share time and really create connections with people. So if you don't like grilling, you still go because it's the time that you actually meet people and get to talk to the others. So today we are grilling. So you are in my backyard and I'm going to cook for you. All right. So Profe Iván will be cooking for you. So I'll do my best, I promise. Okay. So here we have the grill already 220 Celsius. Okay. Let me see if I can move this so you can also see camera number 2 as well. Yeah, to clean this mess a little bit, and I'm going to move my grill right here. Okay, In camera number 2, Tita, can you still see some part of the grill or not?
Yes.
Sorry, now camera
you
number
see
1.
it clearly. Yeah.
Okay. So in camera number 1, you can see now the process because we are going to do step number 3. In step number 3, we are going to add some oil to the hot plate. This is like hot plate, just to make sure that the spices don't get stuck to the grill. It shouldn't, but it's just to make sure that it looks perfect, right? So here we have 220 degrees grill ready, and we are going to add the steak. Okay, so the grilling part, atención, grilling part, Tita, Henry, and everyone in the session. This is one of the most important steps, okay? So far, it's very simple. You can just make any mistake, but this is the one that's very important. The steak, we are going to cook it medium rare, okay? So in order to make it medium rare, I'm going to cook it for 4 minutes first, all right, on one side. We are going to flip the meat and we are going to cook it for 2 extra minutes, all right? So in total, it's 6 minutes. If you want it like well done, you can make 4 minutes in 4 minutes, okay? But today we are going to make it only 4 minutes, 2 minutes, because I like it medium rare. It's a bit red in the middle, well cooked on the sides, all right? So let's begin this cooking. So let's begin with steak number 1. I'm gonna put it right here. Steak number 2. Steak number 3, Brazil, in that order. Chipotle. And finally, we are going to add only one because it's only one can fit in my grill pan, which is mofo. Can you see it? I'm going to move this on the side. The smell that's coming out from this is it's such a mix because we have so many different ingredients mixed in one place. It just tastes like you know, when you go to and how to say it, in Indonesian people like Indonesia people like also grilling like satay, right?
Yes, exactly.
So this sort of like feeling of
Disculpa,
satay, but all
Iván.
the flavors and smells coming out from the
Can
meat.
you move the stove a little bit to the center of the camera so we can see
Sure.
the grill fully?
So Tina, 4 minutes, please.
Perfecto.
Already one. Okay, we're gonna cover it. Okay, so just gonna leave it there for 3 minutes. So I have 3 minutes to give you some extra tips. I already give you the tip about the meat that you need to take it, that you have to defrost it the night before. The tip number 2 is about adding a bit of oil. And now I want to help you with the part that I said that if you don't have a grill pan, how do you do it with other like appliances or other ovens, for example? Okay, so oven for me is one of the most simple way of using the wraps. For example, the only difference, if you want to make fish, for example, imagine that you want to make fish with merquén. Instead of adding the oil to the pan, you're gonna add the oil to the meat. Okay, so for example, a fillet of salmon, you are gonna like rub it with oil, okay, and then you're gonna add the spices. Okay, so that's a simple way of using the same wraps but with the oven. Okay, you don't add the oil to the oven. Okay, you might ruin it, but you add the oil to the meat. All right. The other one that people use and they like to use is grill, but grill is very similar to this one. In grill, you don't need to add oil. Okay, that's something that is very. If you add oil, there's a grid that will just leak to the fire. Okay, so you don't need to add the oil because this is the spices won't stick to the grill. All right. Chita, do we have any questions so far while we wait for this, or are we fine?
Yeah, some people have asked some questions, but I think Dina has already answered them. But there seems to be someone who loves to use air fryer. Can you talk a little bit about grilling with air fryer? Obviously, it's
air fryer. Maybe you are like the team, like my girlfriend's team. Okay. Because people who are using nowadays, air fryer is like a new discovery and just amazing tool that we can have at home. So I use normally fish and air fryer. Okay, so the way I do it is, for example, salmon. I took the salmon. Okay, I rub it with oil, right? Or with a little bit of oil. My girlfriend is the expert of air fryer. Okay, so I take the fish, then we rub it with oil. Then we add the spices and just put it in the air fryer. Okay, so it's that simple. Air fryer is one of the easiest tools that we can all have at home. It's very healthy, by the way, because it doesn't really fry the things with oil. All right. So if you use olive oil, even better, because it's healthier version. All right. So for those who have air fryer, will make your life just easier. We should be selling air fryers, Tita. Am I right?
Yeah. And one more question while we wait for the steak to cook. This one is from Nico. Is there any special spice that is the keynote of Latin dishes?
Oh, okay. I'm going to answer to the question in one moment because it's already 4 minutes. We don't want our steak to.
Oh my God, I can smell that.
Wow.
Going to imagine the smell.
Italian, Brazil, Mexico, and mojo. Wow, looks so good. We're gonna leave it like this for 2 more minutes. All right. So, Tita, can you repeat that question again at the end of the session?
Yeah.
Because I can barely hear you because of the sounds from the grill. Okay.
Yeah, it's sizzling. He's asking if there's any special spice that is the keynote in all Latin dishes.
Is there any spice that all Latin Americans?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's very hard. Okay, that's a difficult question because when we speak about spice, it could be, for example, garlic, onion. Okay, this is already raw, that is pre-mixed. The pre-mix with many spices, but
yeah,
without any doubt, we all like garlic, onion because it's the basic ingredients for most cuisines. It doesn't matter if it's Spanish, Italian, but garlic is something that very basic for most of the cuisine. So garlic, but every country has their own. Nowadays, we don't cook only traditional Chile food every day. With Chinese food, with Japanese food, Mexican food. So nowadays, if you ask any Chilean, we don't really eat Chilean food every day. So the spices that we use in all countries now are getting to like a common path. Okay, but that's basically the best answer, maybe. So I'll get back to the question at the end because I'll go one more time over that part of the spices. All right, 2 minutes. Yeah. Okay, now 2 minutes. I was paying attention to the watch, so I'm going to take.
We won't distract you from the cook.
Make it on the side. In case you notice at the beginning of the show, the meat has a layer of fat on the side. So what I like to do is the last moment I like to put the fat facing down like this. So the fat. What happens to the fat? You don't feel like you're eating the fat. You feel like you're eating like a melted flavor of the fat, which is different because the pure fat is like thick and then like not unpleasant to eat. But once it's melted, it's just magic. Okay. So here we have the 5 steaks, only 30 more seconds, and then I'll take it out and ready to cut. Right. So here we're waiting. We're going to take 30 seconds. Let's begin with the first one. I'm gonna place it here and then move this to the camera. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. I'm gonna turn off the grill pan. Grill pan. There we are. I'm gonna move my grill pan to the bottom. Okay, so this. Okay, we stopped using the grill pan. I'm going to continue with this part. Okay, Tita. Is it possible to see now the meat on the camera? Tita?
Yes. Perfecto.
Okay, all right. We did a good job, okay? This part is always high tension. This is high tension because 4 minutes, 2 minutes, and have to control everything. It's but all right, we accomplished, mission accomplished, okay? 90% already accomplished. We still have to try the meat, all right? So here in the camera, we can have, the first one is Mexican, the second one is Italian, the third one is Brazil. So I'm going to put it here so you can see Brazil. The fourth one is Chipotle, and the last one is Mojo. So here we have all 5 different steaks using the spices that we collected in our trip from Latin America. So like I asked Tita, what is your favorite? She said mojo. So we're going to try mojo, and we are also going to try Henry's choice. Henry, you said Italian, right?
Yes.
Okay.
How can we trust you on this?
You know me as a teacher, Tita. Am I honest or not? Okay. So I won't say who is winning. I will just try to describe as good as possible the flavor. Okay. So I'll try first Tita's option, which is the mojo. Okay. The meat is a bit red in the middle. Is medium rare. If you want it well done, you can just cook it a little bit more. But this to me just perfect. Okay. So I'm going to try number 1. Wow, I feel like I described it. I feel like exotic flavor. Like I said before, Havana, Cuba, those vintage cars. It's like it just comes to my head right away. The flavor, I can feel the orange. Okay, if you feel the orange, there's a bit sweet, and also mixed with the garlic and onion that makes it just so special. Mojo to me is also one of my favorite spices because it's a new discovery that I've never imagined. So mojo, Tita, really good option. Let's go to the Italian influenced country of Argentina. And we're going to try the Italian rub. Okay, Italian is our second steak here. I'm going to cut it. Okay. All right. Oh, it looks so good. Okay, Henry, if you want a piece of this, feel free to come and pick it up. Okay.
Yes, of course. Or
We don't live that far, right? Okay, so I'm going to try the second one that is Italian.
well, please describe the flavor to us.
The Italian, I can feel the rosemary, I can feel the thyme, the parsley, and also black pepper and salt. Okay, those are like the most like distinctive flavors of Italian. So for those who are actually these days cooking with rosemary, they add the pepper. This is something like a more like complex flavor, not just rosemary. It goes into that direction, but with pepper, which makes it a bit spicy and salty, and it's just a perfect mix, well balanced spice.
Wow.
So the one I'm having for lunch today, because this is my lunch, okay. I'll be cooking. I'll be eating with merken. Okay. So, for example, if you want to prepare a meal, it's very simple because these flavors already have a very complex body. Let's say it's very complex flavors, and we have to combine it with something simple in case you want to make it a lunch. So I made like asparagus. Okay, if you want to mix it with asparagus, it's just perfect. And also, if you like something healthier that is not rice, we have quinoa from Peru. That is also very healthy food these days. And you just can combine any meat that you want with any of this asparagus or quinoa, and you just have a meal in less than 10 minutes. You saw that I made it a bit longer because I took the time to explain things. But if you make it at home, remember, fire, then rub, and finally grilling. It's super simple. If you want to make it with air fryer, just apply the oil to the meat, okay, or the fish. In this case, I like it with fish. Put it in the air fryer and it's done. Okay, very simple meal. And then you just add some extra side dishes. In this case, I'm using asparagus and quinoa. Okay, mission accomplished, Tita and Henry. Okay, so
Hooray!
we accomplished this. All right. So I'm gonna go back to the front in case that anyone has questions. Now I can answer again. Okay.
So I'm wondering, I don't know if you mentioned this before. So you just put the meat rub directly before you cook, right? But what if we marinate it? Because sometimes I like to marinate my steak, and some people actually leave it overnight. So the meat rub also works as marinade.
Okay. The marinade has a liquid part, right? So rub, the difference between a rub and a marinade is rub is ready to use. We try to make this collection as simple as possible, so you don't need anything. Okay, so just add it to the meat, done. Okay, if you want to marinate, you would add some liquid part. You can use oil, okay, you can use vinegar, you can use many other liquid parts, and normally you need to leave it overnight so it absorbs the flavor. So the question, can I use these rubs for marinating? The answer is yes, but you need to add something extra. You need to add oil, for example, leave it overnight so it absorbs the flavors. Okay.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So are we moving on to the question part, or?
Sure. Let's move on to the question part.
I think I saw some questions have been answered. I think Megan has some questions. Megan, do you wanna preguntar?
Yes.
Profe?
Yes, please.
Hola, Megan.
Hola, ¿qué tal, profe Iván?
Muy bien, ¿y tú?
Bien. Tengo dos preguntas. La primera pregunta será en inglés y la segunda en castellano.
Vale.
My first question is about merquén. So has any other people other than the Mapuche people tried to make merquén? Because I've read that this spice is maybe almost sacred. So maybe there would be problems if merquén were to be mass produced and not made just by the local people.
Yes, do you want to ask the two questions? You want to ask one first and I answer?
One first, yes, and then
okay, so yeah, that's always a concern, that mass production kills the magic of something so beautiful, right?
Right.
So what's happening in Chile is that people who want to make merquén outside this area is not called merquén. Okay, merquén has certain conditions that has to be made in certain region under certain criteria, and it's right now it's been registered sort of like a patent that only merquén produced in that area can be called merquén. It's sort of like champagne with wine. Only wine from that area can be called champagne, right? Sparkling wine. So merquén is fighting right now. I mean, right now, if you try to make merquén in Indonesia, wouldn't be called merquén because it has to follow certain criteria to be called merquén.
Bahas 5 bumbu Latin America.
We have Erin, one moment. Okay, so Megan, all right. So question number one, the answer is no, cannot be cannot be made in the US, for example, because there are fake copies of merquén, but shouldn't be called merquén. That's the answer.
Mi segunda pregunta no es exactamente una pregunta, pero me interesa tu opinión y es sobre el chimichurri. Y bueno, no inmediatamente asocio el chimichurri como argentino porque sé que originó en el País Vasco y hubo una gran cantidad de vascos que emigraron a Argentina en el siglo XIX. Y lo que me parece más curioso es que la palabra vasca para chimichurri es muy parecido, pero en lugar de la CH usan TX, porque el diptongo CH no existe en el idioma vasco. Y aprendí esto de algunos cocineros vascos que conozco. Y bueno, la cocina vasca es una de las pocas cocinas, en mi opinión, donde la alta cocina se encuentra con la cocina tradicional, pero en una manera muy poética. ¿Has oído hablar alguna vez de la historia de chimichurri desde del País Vasco?
So I'll try to paraphrase Megan's question. So for those who are in YouTube or cannot follow Spanish, so Megan is asking, Megan, you correct me if I'm wrong, but Megan is saying that chimichurri is originally from País Vasco. And actually, there's a word for chimichurri that is written differently because of this. There's no such CH letters in the Vasco language. But País Vasco already had chimichurri and probably were Vascos, okay, Basque, the ones who brought chimichurri to Argentina, okay? And the answer is probably yes. Okay, so in Argentina, like I said before, 83% of the population is European descendant. Yes. So here we have 63 from Argentina, and Spanish influence is always in Latin American cuisine. So if it's from somebody from Basque who brought chimichurri, probably in Argentina was always adapted with some other spices to make it Argentinian, okay? So like empanada. When we talk about empanada or this pastel, we can find pastel everywhere, but there's empanada chilena, Chilean empanada, empanada Indonesia, empanada from the north of Indonesia, but everyone made it their own by adding or taking some of the spices or ingredients from that. But if you ask any Argentinian about chimichurri, they would say very convinced that the chimichurri is Argentinian because it's Argentinian chimichurri.
Bueno, para mí yo creo que el chimichurri es tan argentino que vasco.
Sí, sí. There's cuisine never is purely from one single place. It's always has roots in many places. Okay, muchas gracias, Megan.
Gracias, profe.
De nada. Do we have more questions?
I think we have one more from Yopi. Do you use materials from local market for making those spices, or do you import them?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. We don't import all our spices because we, for example, with one single rub, for example, Brazilian rub uses 15 different spices. So imagine importing every spice because we need to make it. But the way we do it is, for example, merquén is purely 100% from Chile. There's some other spices we're importing as well, but there are many that we actually buy from importers, okay, are not local made spices. There's no, for example, parsley from Indonesia. We always buy imported parsley because we use premium ingredients. So basically in the spice business, you cannot do all the spices they import. So we do buy premium spices for some from some importers, but we make sure that it's always premium spices, and the recipe, it just follows the traditional way. Okay, we don't try to make it our own. Okay, good question. That's actually a good question.
All right, cool. So if anyone has more questions, you can just ask directly to Iván here. I think he would be more than happy to answer them. Anyone else? Risa, you seem to have a lot of questions. If you want to talk to Iván directly, be my guest.
All right. Okay, so Risa, is there any questions from Risa or Aufar? Aufar is raising his hand.
Oh, okay, please. Hola, Aufar, do you want to ask a question? Risa also, please turn on your microphone and just ask directly.
Hello, Iván.
Hola,
Hello,
Risa.
Iván. Yes, I want to ask about, have you ever combined the spices one another?
Okay, have I ever combined spices with, for example, mixing Italian with merquén, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we try. That's a good question. It's very tempting. Okay, whenever I'm preparing my meal, I'm like, what if I mix mojo with Brazilian? So I mix I mix Brazilian culture with Cuban culture. Okay, the reality is I always try to be as authentic as possible when I eat. So when I cook mojo, I just eat mojo. Okay, when I eat Brazilian, I try to eat only Brazilian, because the spice itself already well balanced. Okay, maybe if you mix the spices, it will be a bit unbalanced. So it's up to any person. Okay, if you want to mix it, it's also good. Okay, so our brand is Cocina Creativa, Creative Kitchen. So maybe you can be creative to create your own spice. Okay, Risa.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome, Risa.
We have a question from YouTube. This is from Kevin. He is asking, for these spices, how do you match them with different types of seafood?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a really, really good question. For seafood, we don't have it. We've made some experiments, okay, because in Indonesia, we offer the spices to be as authentic as possible, but the same customers that we have are the ones who start experimenting, and they say, Ivan, look, I found this amazing recipe with chimichurri. I said, what is that? What is that? They said, I created tumi chimichurri. I said, tumi chimichurri sounds fun. So he sent me the photo, and tumi chimichurri is like just so amazing, but it's something that we have never think of. Like for us, it's just thinking outside the box, and that's something that has made our brand like so fun, because people start experimenting in their own way. They let themselves go one step further and create different dishes. Okay, so for example, you can create it with tumi, like tumi in Bahasa Indo, and with chimichurri goes perfect. If you wanna add it with Italian rub, you can also experiment how it is, but it should be just fine. Herbal flavors with seafood goes good. Okay, we've tried it and it's just good. The other one that I like a lot is salmon with chili rub. I mean the American rub. Like the way I do it when I'm after my class on during weekdays, right? I only have 10 minutes to cook something really fast. I take one piece of fish, let's say salmon, rub it with oil, put the rub directly to the what is the name? The air fryer. Air fryer. That's my girlfriend's discovery. So we make everything with air fryer these days. So you can make it with tumi, you can make salmon, and you can start experimenting how it tastes like with the other as well. Remember, Chile food, it's a long country, and a lot of Pacific Ocean on the shoreline, right? So we like to eat seafood with merquén as well. But the difference, we make merquén with oil, make it hot, and then maybe put it on top of the seafood. That's also good mix. All right. So can experiment as well.
I have a question about how to eat those steaks. So I know that after all those rub, the meat is very, very flavorful, right? But is it common for people to eat steak with dip sauce? Because sometimes people have like maybe alioli or something similar. Is it common to eat steak with dipping sauce?
Depends. The answer, it depends. Okay, so it really depends on the country and the person. Okay, if you go to Argentina and you order this steak, or you go, for example, to this Argentinian restaurant in Jakarta, probably they will always serve it with the chimichurri next to it. It's optional if you want to use it, because for some people, for many people actually, eating meat as pure as possible just with salt is enough. Okay, so we always put the sauce on the side as an optional thing, but you don't have to. Okay, this is if you go to Argentina, yes, herbal flavors of chimichurri will always be on the side, but in Chile we don't eat any sauce next to the meat. This is just perfect and ready to eat.
Perfect. Yuta also mentioned here that it might go really well as well with lamb.
Oh, lamb. One of the traditional dishes from the south of Chile is merquén, lamb with merquén. So the preparation is very similar, okay? But lamb is already very rich, okay? Rich flavor. So when we mix it with merquén, I would advise it not to put too many spices, just make it as simple as possible. And maybe with a glass of wine would just pair it more than perfect.
Or iced tea, maybe, for those who don't.
Iced tea.
Well, related to that, Iren is asking if is there any side dish or like local side dish that would go well with the meat?
Okay, that's really good question, because we get tired, right, of eating the same like Chile food. I love Chile food, but I don't eat Chile food every day. I always have these cravings. So when I don't feel like eating the Chile way, I make it my Chile food in Indonesian way. Okay, what does it mean? For example, I would take this steak, cut it into cubes, and put it on top of white rice, and that to me is a full meal, and it's perfect mix because flavorful on top and rice that is more plain. It pairs excellent. Okay, so side dish, white rice is good. I also like it with fresh vegetables. Okay, something that doesn't have too much flavor. So maybe if you like tomato, if you like potatoes as well. I know that in Indo, you don't really eat potatoes that often, but will be a good side dish that's very plain, like for example, potato on the oven. It's just very simple and goes well. To me, I like when something is very flavorful, like the meat, then to mix it with something that doesn't have too much flavor, something more plain and simple.
So it neutralized the taste a little bit, right? I think it would go very well with white rice.
Yeah, that's my Indonesian way of eating my steak.
Yeah, rice bowl with the steak.
We should make one. We should make one. One dime por qué take away Latin American cuisine.
Yeah. All right. Any more questions, guys? We still have some time here. Any question that you want to? Yeah, white rice. Speak Asian culture. It's fusion. All right.
We wanna show something, Tita.
Yeah.
Just for those who stayed until the end and those who woke up early on Sunday morning. Okay, well, not too early, but to learn something new on Sunday morning, we prepared a special prize for those who came today. So we want to show you a little bit one of the prizes that people can actually win today. Is it all right?
Of course, please. Everyone is waiting for it.
Okay, look at this. We have a surprise for you. Okay, so last year we created a new, let's say, product. Okay, let's say product, not really like product itself, because we were never intended to really sell it, as we just wanted to make people's experience a better experience. So we created this box that we called it Frida box. Okay, this Frida box is inspired in Frida Kahlo, okay, Mexican artist, and it's all pink and beautiful. Okay, so it has a lot of personality, and it's thought to be for actually this women who are empowered these days, and we really admire and love. So this is a box that we really love to present to you, and also has some Mexican cartoons on here, because this box brings music to your house as well. So this Frida box is something that we want to give away today, and it says have great spices for better days, because we feel that eating better food makes us feel better sometimes, right? So especially during this pandemic. So what we want to give here is the 4 spices. I can see we're going to give 3 boxes, Frida boxes with 4 different spices. Let me take this out so you can see. Oops. So we want to give these 4 spices to 3 different people. So in total, we're going to give the 12 spices or 3 Frida boxes. Okay. So we feel really proud of this box, because it's like a baby. It's like a baby that is really inspired in women this day. It's something that really move us to keep working every day and innovating, because they really like cooking and trying new things. Nowadays, kitchen also is not just for women, also for men. And for us, this is sort of like a symbol for the brand, that we want more empowered women in our places. Okay, so this is something that we want to give today for 3 different participants from YouTube or Zoom.
Yeah, and you have to win them. So Iván is not going to just give them away. So how can we win them, Iván?
Okay, so to win this prize, okay, this prize, we have a quiz here. Okay, so you have to answer these 3 questions, and these are the following questions you need to answer. Atención, pay attention. Number 1, what is the meaning of Cocina Creativa? You can answer in English or Bahasa Indonesia, up to you. Number 2, what is the largest Hispanic country? Okay, I'm going to give you a hint. There's the largest Latin American country, and there's also the largest Hispanic country, and those are 2 different answers. So the question is this: what is the largest Hispanic country? Okay, no need to answer on the chat right now. Keep it to yourself, because this answer you have to post it on Instagram. Okay. Number 3, what is the spice made by the indigenous people? What is the spice made by the indigenous Mapuche people? What is the name of that spice? Okay, so you need to answer those 3 simple questions. okay, correctly, doesn't count if you answer incorrectly, and post it on your Instagram story, Tita. And you have to mention cocinacreativa.id, that's our Instagram account, and dime por qué. Okay, have to tag two. And also with the hashtag Hispanic Week 2001. Okay, you have until midnight, and we will choose the follower. So you will choose the winner at midnight. All right. So you have the chance to win these spices. And also, if you don't win these spices and you still want to try these flavors, maybe you can visit our Tokopedia. Here we have all these spices that we just show you and available for sale. And also follow our Cocina Creativa account in case that you want to see more food preparations or all our new spices that we're releasing, not so often, but with certain time. We already have 10 different spices and all original and with premium ingredients. So Tita, you want to add something else about the profile of the participants? I think Instagram, if they posted, it has to be public, right?
What do you mean, the profile? Oh, yeah, of course. If you want to post this, then you have to make your profile public so that we can see the mention and everything. And also you have to follow us at dime.por.ke, and also, of course, Cocina Creativa, which is at cocinacreativa.id. Okay, so make sure to follow those two accounts and post before midnight. So before you go to bed, maybe, well, I mean, we apologize in advance if we make you hungry all day long because of all this, beautiful pictures of meat. But yeah, try to send us something before midnight, and we'll see who are going to be very lucky to get the Frida gift box. I think I'm gonna go get myself one.
Yeah, that'll be good. And yeah, remember, we have some music inside for you. That's the surprise. So while you're cooking with our spices, make sure that you play the playlist, because it's inspired fully in Latin America, and it will make your cooking experience just better experience, all connected, food and music.
And don't forget to let us know when you're trying the recipe.
Yes, of course. So yes, if anyone has any other recipe or ideas, to just let us know. We can also post it or give some feedback, or maybe you will teach us more. I think Indonesians are always very bold in the way of cooking. We always take more risk. In Chile, I think we're a bit boring. Okay, we're a bit like we stick to the tradition, which has to be that way and very stiff. But in Indo, people just create things every day and just amaze us every day. They're even more bold than our brand. Cocina Creativa is not as creativo, it's not as creative as our customers. So that's the thing.
Yeah, I think we're going to start eating it with some nasi goreng. All right, so, okay, last chance for any more questions. We still have a few minutes before we close this super fun and super interesting and super delicious presentation. Well done, Prof. Iván. I think you passed.
Muchas gracias. How about the rest? Do I pass or not pass?
So what do you think, guys? Does Prof. Iván pass the test today?
Apto, yes, I passed.
So, aprueba.
Okay, lulus banget. It says bikin lapar. Muy bien, 100%. Muchas gracias.
Apto if you send us the meat.
No, that's not the rule, Tita. And then I would say you pass if you send me something, then you pass in Spanish if you send me a gift.
Oh my God, that's bribery.
Correcto. So it has to be fair. Okay, muy bien. Oh, Chelsea, I can see Chelsea. Muchas gracias también.
Okay then. So someone is asking, are you guys starting YouTube channel covering Latin America?
Thank
Good
you.
idea.
I don't think for now we're thinking on YouTube channel, but for now, you can follow Cocina Creativa because it's something in the middle. It's not really a channel, but we can still post things there. So stay tuned on to our Instagram because we try to be as active as possible. So Samo, if we want to collaborate, maybe if you want to be the cook, we don't mind. Okay, you can start the channel. Okay.
All right.
Just to finish, Tita, I want to say thank you one more time for the invitation to Dime Por Qué, and also for all our participants on YouTube and also Zoom. For us, it's really, like I said before, a great experience to share our passion of making great food with all of you. So we really hope you like this presentation today. If you have any comments, just let us know on our Instagram. We'll be happy to hear any comments. Okay.
Perfect. Muchísimas gracias a ti, Iván. Do you have any more slides to share, or should I?
Yes, I do have one more just to finish. Just to finish. All right. So it's just
also
thank
important.
You. And this is very something that I would like to finish today is if you don't get the spices, the Frida boxes, don't get disappointed because we have a special promo code only for the participants of these 2 sessions on Zoom and YouTube. You can use the code Cocina Hispanic, the one that's written on the screen, and you can get 10% discount with 50% thousand limit from April 10th until April 14th. So you basically have from today and 3 more days, extra days to get 10% off in our Tokopedia store. Okay, so just to finish, eat better food, and when you have great spices, you will have better days as well. Okay, so better food, better days. Okay, muchas gracias a todos. Thank you very much, and terima kasih semuanya. Okay.
Terima kasih, Profe.
Okay, sama-sama. Adios.